Hello, this is the second video review of the training that I've done over the last week. Wanted to get this video out at the start of the week, but yeah, unfortunately time sort of got away with me. So we're getting out today, slowly but surely getting, I think, a little better at video editing, having never done it before. So yeah, let's jump into the review of the training that I completed last week, and we'll also have a look at what's going on this week for the training.
So this is the training that was completed last week, so we commencing 19th of January. And if you watched the previous video or just for myself watching this back, we're having to cram in everything in a short space of time because um, we were away over the weekend, and I just didn't have any opportunity to run at all either Saturday or Sunday. So the week before. So I ran a 26K on the Sunday, and then went straight into it on the Monday. So the glute was a bit tender for this run here. Um, and like I said in the video, looking forward, I was tempted to sack this off or maybe combine these two runs together. I went out in the end, and again, like I think I've said in the notes here, after a short period of time, I was going to bail on it because the glute just really didn't like feel good, and the pace was really slow. But still, I persevered, and I'm sort of glad I did because I think it just loosened up, and everything was started to feel a bit more normal by the end of it. Um, so I didn't quite do the 8K, but did just over seven. If I wanted to, I could have tacked on a little bit to make that up to 8K, but I just didn't want to push things based on how the glute felt, so I left it at seven. And then the next day, the Tuesday, went straight into a tempo run, and the legs felt all right when I woke up, and the glute was fine, and I sort of did my activation stuff as usual before the run, my stretching and whatever. And yeah, it went really well, to be honest with you. Did a 3K warm up, and then sort of the tempo where we agreed, as in myself and my coach agreed for like a 4 minute 10 per kilometer average, which I hit bang on. And again, I put some of the splits on the screen, and then just did a bit of a warm down. Um, so yeah, all in all, a really strong session. The one thing that I have been thinking about a lot recently when I've been doing some tempo and effort session is like how hard I've been working. So if you can see the majority of the time I spent in zone three, which not really you want to be pushing into zone four. And I've got now up here like zones calculated after a lactate threshold test. So today is Monday the 26th and I'm recording this. And I went to the altitude centre in London, and had a VO2 max and lactate threshold test so I could accurately understand where my fitness is at and what zones I should actually be, what my heart rate is for each zone. So that was interesting. And these are the actual figures now that I'm going to be working towards. So one thing that they said during the test today is that I'm not really working hard enough. My heart rate's not getting high enough when I'm doing my tempo sessions. So that's something I need to actually push a little bit more at. Um, sports massage on the Wednesday. So I think I said it before. I'm trying to do one of the sports massage once a month. Again, just as part of like injury prevention and all that kind of good stuff. And into Thursday, did an effort session. So again, the previous week was no 3 minutes at 10K race pace, but eight of them, yeah. So this is 5 minutes. Um, this definitely felt harder than last week. Granted, like the time is a bit more. It's 5 minute sessions instead of three. I think it was just the final two 5 minute blocks felt a little harder. Um, it was pretty poor conditions. There was a bit of gradient as well on the final uh, two 5 minute blocks, which didn't help things. Um, so definitely felt I was struggling a bit more on that one. Average pace though was pretty good considering last week was 350. The average pace was 351 for the entire blocks. So um, again, that was sort of pleasing to keep that quite consistent. I felt like during the 60-second jog recovery, I was sort of recovering quite quickly again, so I was quite happy with that. And yeah, managed to get that run done, which is good. And then the next day, I mean, the Friday went straight into a 28K easy run. So, like I sort of said in the notes here, I was expecting to be a bit more in trouble after the previous day's session, but actually it was all right, and it was actually a really comfortable run, really nice and controlled. Heart rate was really nice and controlled. Um, Pace was easy. Um, and I actually had the day off work on Friday, so I came back, did a bit of stretching, and then went straight to the gym and did a light upper body session, just to keep myself ticking over. So yeah, pretty good week. And I think if you if you look back at this week and also include this run, we're sort of getting into like nearly 90 kilometers of running in 6 days, which, to be honest, is probably more than I wanted to do, because it's a bit of a jump up. But sitting here on the 26th of January, on the Monday, everything feels okay. So I think I may have got away with it. But again, it's something that I don't really want to be doing too often. Into this week, so as I said, I had this VO2 max and lactate threshold test. So yeah, I went to a place in London this morning called the Altitude Centre, and I was looked after by a chap called Nick, who has been working there for quite a long time. Really knowledgeable guy. Really sort of enjoyed like doing the session with him. And the first thing we did was the lactate threshold test, and I'd never had anything like this done before, so I sort of already knew from what I'd sort of read and seen on the internet. But we started by doing a 3 minute run at a very low pace. I think it was around like 5 minutes 30. And after that 3 minutes, sort of jumped off the treadmill, did a blood sample. The pace then increased, and we did like another 3 minutes. And again, after that 3 minutes, did another blood sample. So that's measuring like the lactate buildup. Um, as a result of like the increased pace. I'll see if I can get some of the statistics and stuff to share from the report on the screen. Um, and then we sort of kept going up and up until the fastest that I went was 3 minutes at three. Sorry, a 3 minute run at 3 minutes 45 per kilometer pace. And that was basically like my final sort of run where the lactate was going. Well, basically, it was, yeah, the body couldn't have got rid of it as quick as it was building up. But yeah, it's a really interesting test. And then off the back of that, because you're strapped up with the heart rate monitor as well, you can start to accurately understand like your zones. And so basically, yeah, where that pace is. So it's interesting that, right at this moment, I'm unsurprisingly not in a 3 hour or a 2:59 marathon pace, but not too far off. So bearing in mind the Boston Lincolnshire Marathon is, I think, just under 12 weeks away now. Um, there is a chance of running that, but bearing in mind the my A race this year is Amsterdam, which is in October. I've got quite a lot of time before that race, so fingers crossed, and we can stay injury free and all that kind of good stuff. I'll have a good chance of getting that. And then the VO2 max was on a treadmill. I think the pace was around 4 minutes 30 something, and you run for 1 minute, and then after that 1 minute, the incline um, goes up, and you run for another minute, and then the incline goes up again, and you just keep doing that until failure, basically. And I'll put a picture of the sort of the mask, etc., of what it looked like. Sort of I had a little bit of claustrophobia to start with, so I had to sort of just take my time to get used to breathing through the mask. But Nick assured me nicely that the only person who needed more oxygen than the mask could actually physically pull in was Steve Redgrave. So I thought, oh yeah, I'll be okay. Um, but that was difficult, and half your body is, well, half your mind is telling you to keep going, keep going, keep going. And Nick was really good. He kept telling me to push on, just get to the next minute, and he was really sort of helped sort of like support you in that way. Then the other half of your brain is just thinking, just stop, just stop, just stop. But yeah, I sort of finished the VO2 Max, and I said to Nick afterwards, I said, I'm a bit annoyed. I felt like maybe I could have kept going like a bit more. And he said, "Do you think that? But you were pretty much like done." So that was interesting to see what the score. So I run with the Garmin watch, and Garmin obviously does a lot of predictions in terms of like your what it thinks like you can run 5, 10, half and a marathon pace at, and it also gives you like a indication of what your VO2 max score is. So the Garmin watch has had me at VO2 max score of 60 for quite a while now, and I had no idea whether or not it was accurate. And Nick said he's seen it being bang on with from what Garmin says to the actual test, and he's seen it being wildly inaccurate due to there's the makeup and the how you're built basically, what type of runner you are. So my VO2 max score at the end of that came out at 60.6, which for my age, I think a score of excellent is 45. So to be quite a bit above that was really pleasing. And yeah, it was pretty much spot on what the Garmin said. So yeah, that was good. So yeah, really definitely recommend that. If anyone has not had it before and is seriously training and wants to understand like what their heart rate zones are, there's not a great deal of difference between the two, but certainly like there's enough there. Like my zone three is the peak of my zone three is a lot higher than what I mean, these calculated methods are just ones that I've done, like 220 minus your age, and there's like a method beginning with C that I can't remember, where it also factors in like your resting heart rate. So that's why on the tempo runs, I'm not pushing myself enough into zone four. So now I know that I can sort of very keep a close eye on it when I do some of my threshold and my effort sessions. And then for this week, it's a bit of a not a down week, but a reduced week because I've had like quite a few weeks of building up distance. So the long run this week is dropped down just to a half, but we're also going to include 10K at marathon pace, which is 4:15. I said, but what I didn't do a lot of last year um, was I didn't do enough running at marathon pace just to sort of build up and get a better understanding or a better feel of what marathon pace felt like. So in this training block for this year, I want to start introducing. Now we know what the target is, because last year I didn't really have any targets, so um, we'd just do our running and our training, and then we'd start to agree upon like what time we'd likely, I say we as in myself and my coach, would like to run the marathon nearer the end of the training. Whereas now we've got like a clear goal of sub three. I want to start building in marathon pace earlier on in the training block. So I'm looking forward to that one. I don't envisage that should be too difficult because I've already comfortably done 7 and 8 Ks at marathon pace as well in some of the training that I've done in the past couple of weeks. Effort session this week is quite punchy in terms of it's 90 seconds at 5K race pace with a 60-second jog recovery, but timesing that by 16, so actually quite a lot of that. I'm sort of working on my race pace for 5K, I think like 340 to 345 minute kilometers. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that works out. You'd like to think 90 seconds isn't too much, but obviously times 16 towards the back end, that might be that might start to get a bit difficult. But yeah, interesting to see how that one will go. Uh, Out and back, just 14K. Again, nothing much to talk about here. Just the standard out and back, and again, just the standard 6 to 8K easy running as well. So not as much volume as last week, which is purposeful. But yeah, certainly the effort session and the 21K with some marathon race pace built in there should be a couple of good runs. So yeah, hopefully we'll have another good week and manage to stay injury free and yeah, to start to utilize the data that I got from the tests today, moving forward in the training. So hopefully, when I record next video, again, it will be another good week, and yeah, we'll be looking forward to the week ahead with no injuries and only positive things to say from the week that's just gone. And yeah, we will take it from there.
So that's the review of the training that I completed last week, and also what's going to be going on training wise this week. Not great English. So a couple of things is well that I wanted to mention, just in terms of documenting this. I'm still doing all of my tempo and effort sessions in my like race shoes. I think, bearing in mind like I said in I think one of the first videos or second videos, the Saucony Endorphin Pro 4s are discounted quite heavily now because the 5s are being released. I may just pick up another pair of those and then use the current pair as just my training shoes, rather than risk maybe going for something like the Asics Magic Speed, which again is like a sort of up-tempo effort type shoe, because I just don't know how I'll get on with it. So I'm thinking I might just stick with the Saucony's, my old pair for the training, and just get a new pair for race day. I also, I don't know why we kept saying glycerins for the Brooks. Apparently it's glycerin, so I made that mistake. But I wore those for my last long run instead of the Super Blasts, because I condensed everything down training wise into 5 days. So because the glycerins are like a lot more cushioned, I thought it's probably a bit more sensible to wear those for the long run rather than go for the Super Blast, which I've been using predominantly for my long runs as well. And the glycerins as well, they're, to be fair, getting to the end of their life as well, and I think Brooks have just released a newer version as well, so may need to upgrade to those ones. And then subsequently, in terms of recovery, like I said, I've been doing the once a month for the sports massage, but I also invested in, don't know if the camera's going to pick that up well enough, but they're called Hyperice, I think they're called. And this is their compression boots, the Normatec 3s. So I picked these up a couple of months ago. I've been using them pretty religiously after most runs for 45 minutes, just compresses the legs. Again, it says there's a lot of science backing it up in terms of forcing the old blood out and fresh oxygenated blood into your legs to help with recovery. I don't know how well it works. Certainly, I must admit, after using them for quite a long time now, my legs definitely do feel fresher in the morning after a long run. How much of that is the boots and how much of that is a placebo effect, I'm not sure, but it certainly feels really nice using them. So that's now part of my routine after the runs. So after the runs, I come and stretch afterwards, and then I'll put on the compression boots in the evening when the kids are in bed and all that kind of stuff, and just sit there for 45 minutes. So yeah, been using that as well. Yeah, that's it for this week. So I will record another one after this week's training, and do again that sort of same process of reviewing the last week, and I look forward to what's coming next in the training. Thank you.